Hey everyone, it's MrWarrenHayes once again for Pro Wrestling Illustrated. And I am joined right now by Trevor Murdoch, who is going to be challenging once again for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship at NWA 73 against the champ, Nick Aldis, of course. It's not the first time that you're going to be going through this, but you know, you're a man who's had a pretty extensive career, right? You've been in other promotions, WWF, you've even been in Japan as well. You've wrestled over there. NWA, pop in here. What made you sort of angle towards heading into an NWA a couple of years ago?
NWA obviously has the old school feel to it, but our mantra, our main focus is wrestling and telling wrestling stories that the fans can understand. And also, we don't just, when I was talking to Billy Corgan and Dave Lagana about all this, everything was about long term. Whereas if you know in wrestling today, everything is pushed to the next pay-per-view, which happens to be 4 weeks away. It's hard for people to get invested into somebody, especially a guy like me, in just 4 weeks.
Why especially a guy like you?
Well, because I don't look like the normal wrestler. From a fan standpoint, I don't. I'm not jacked. I'm not.
I don't know, man. I'm a guy who's been around since the territories. I've been watching wrestling for a while. You got the wrestling look for me.
I greatly appreciate that. Thank you very much. Not a lot of fans, but some fans don't feel the same way as you do. But that's the difference between, that's how wrestling is starting to change that tide. Back in the day, that all the wrestlers, they didn't, number one, they didn't look the same. Number two, I know probably 100 guys that look like me that even I probably would question whether or not I want to throw down with them, because they're just hard-working, have very strong work ethics. They don't take any shit, and they just want to be treated with respect. They don't want to be bothered by anybody or bother anybody. I mean, that's who I am. That's how I operate my life. I bring my 15-year-old with me when I bring him to these shows, and it's yes sir, no sir. It's stay out of the way and be respectful. That's how I feel. I should behave. That's how I should interact with individuals. If I give people respect, I expect to get it back. This world used to be like that everywhere. That's how everybody was. And so that's what I'm trying to bring for Trevor Murdoch to the people, is that you can still, there is no gray area. There's right and wrong. There's respect or no respect. It's a very basic thought process, but one that works. And that's what I'm trying to bring to the NWA, and that's what the NWA has allowed me to do as well. The other thing, too, is when I got here to the NWA, I asked them, as a pro wrestler, you tend to go to the promoter and you want to make them happy. So you ask them the basic question of, what are you looking for? You brought me in here. What is your thoughts, ideas? And the only thing they kept telling me was, go do you. Trevor, just go be you.
That's awesome.
We don't have... We believe in you, we like you, so go do you. When it was time for me to grab a mic and talk, there wasn't a page and a half of, pardon my language, shit that I had to remember.
Sure.
It was, Trevor, you're mad at this. You're obviously you're gonna have a match with this guy. You obviously have issues with him personally. There's a microphone. And I've been able to go out there and just express myself. I've been able to talk real to the people, because I truly believe, man, you as a fan, whether you're a fan of wrestling or not, you know when you're getting bullshitted. Mm-hmm. You do. You may not be able to put your finger on it. You may not be able to say that's what's, but you feel it and you know it, and you lose a disconnect with the people. I feel like if I go out there and just be honest and be upfront and tell them exactly how I'm feeling, what's coming out of my brain right then and there, you as a fan, human being, person will be able to, it'll be resonate into your heart, and you'll understand it more than anything.
Imagine that. I can't disagree with that.
It's a pretty simple ideology.
Right. I mean, at some point, it's like you can keep it simple or you can overthink it, right?
Yes. Yeah, and if you've ever watched me wrestle, I'm pretty simple.
Well, I mean...
everybody says, Trevor, you're old school. I don't know how to wrestle any other way. I was trained by Harley Race. This is how he told me the business should be. This is how he told me, if I want to get somewhere in this business, this is what you have to do. This is how you have to carry yourself. And that's how I've ran my business, how I wrestle. It's just who I am.
Sure.
I'm not trying to be old school. It's just who I am.
It's just who you are.
Yeah.
Imagine that playing off your strengths, you know?
Yes,
Exactly.
yes.
23 years in the business, right? Like we said, second time challenging for the NWA world title. You've been national champion before, but now you're going for the big one, second time at it. On top of that, at the Chase,
Yes.
which has historical significance. I mean, this has got to feel good for you, for a guy who was trained by Harley Race and who's old school, right?
Yes, I guess the best way you could put it is Cinderella found a shoe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sounds right.
Like, this is where I fit. Like, I've had conversations with my wife and other wrestlers about other companies, and there's been other companies that have been interested in me, and I've turned them down. Specifically, I've gotten to a point in my career where I know what works for me. I know where I work. I know where I'm comfortable and where I'm the best at. And I am the best when I step into an NWA studio or an NWA ring and I represent the NWA. That's where I fit. That's who I am. This is where I'm gonna stay, man. You know, hopefully I can continue after tomorrow to being world champion. If I don't win, I've already went out in public and made the statement that if I don't win tomorrow night, that I'll be done in pro wrestling. And I'm very upfront. Like, I took that to heart and I explained to everybody why I've done that. I want to be world champion. I've been blessed, like you said, I've been WWE, TNA, been to Japan, but I've never been NWA world champion. And if you're a pro wrestler and not wanting to be world champion, you might need to find something else to do.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And so I'm at a point here where if I can't be world champion, then I'm going to call it a day and be thankful for the career I've had. I can't ask for, like you said, a better way to either win or a better way to lose. I'm here in front of my friends, my family, in a house that guys like Ric Flair and Harley Race have built. You really can't ask for a better out or a better in. Does that make any? You know,
it does make sense, absolutely. But you touched on it, right? Like, I think there is a good way for you to go out tomorrow because, like you mentioned, you know, you put your career on the line. Nick Aldis, last time you were in the ring with him, well, yeah, he sort of finessed his way to a victory. Let's be polite about it.
Bullshit. No, I'll say it. It's bullshit.
Do you think he's going to play fair, especially considering the stakes?
I'm hoping, and you know what? I think I could say he's going to bring it tomorrow night because obviously he doesn't want to lose either.
Sure.
But I think he's realized that the way things went last time we were in the ring, he didn't quite get the reception he was expecting to get from the people. So if he wants to beat me tomorrow night, and he wants to be able to look himself in the mirror and be a man, he's going to have to beat me fair and square, like a grown-ass man, one-on-one in the middle of that ring. That's how it's got to be.
That's all it's got to be. And that, as we said, the basic principles of pro wrestling right there. There you go.
It doesn't have to get any crazier than that, man. It's one man against another man, and we're going to have a winner at the end of the night.
And we're all looking forward to it. Trevor Murdoch, best of luck to you tomorrow. And we'll be back with more interviews, folks.